safe to do so. Please remain seated and do not use the tram on your own for and do not use the tram on your own for any
the left side.
Wait for your guide to provide assistance. We can't emphasize strong.
Oh yeah, last for 60 to 70 minutes. Sure. So this is worth it.
Going straight, guys, all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. Don't go under, keep going all the way down, guys.
You can come to your original position. You were ahead of me.
Okay, thank you. Are you with her or?
There are people on their toes because it's warm. They could get killed.
What? Lunch.
Hi, I'm Luke, one of the tour guides here at the park. Welcome to the world-famous Universal Studios tour.
Hi, I'm Alicia. In just a few minutes, we're going to board our tram for a tour of the movie studio that can last as long as 1 hour.
That's right, an hour. Because of the length of the tour, we strongly recommend that you use the restrooms here in the tram plaza on board the tram.
If you need to step out of the queue line, please.
The earthquake is not working.
Our studio tour buses.
Yeah.
Board the tram and the gates are closed. For your safety and those working at the studio, please remain inside the tram at all times. All set? Let's go.
During the tour, please keep your arms and all items inside the tram. If you need any kind of guest assistance, for instance, a medical emergency, or you drop something of value off the side of the tram, do not jump off of the tram. This is unsafe for you and those working at the studio. Instead, reach overhead and pull on the red cord that runs down the center of each car. Your guide will be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Please remain seated and do not exit the tram on your own for any reason. Look to your guide to provide assistance. We appreciate your cooperation. Thanks so much and enjoy your visit to the world-famous Universal Studios tour. We'll see you on the Happy 60th anniversary of Universal Studios.
Okay. The group is two.
Yeah, but once they start going,
Yeah. I saw a sign. Two. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Time and time again. Because it's this one. Because of
Okay, if you're joining us, welcome to the live stream. Before we begin, any movies, TV shows, or any kind of media featured or mentioned in the studio tour will have a dedicated page to watch or purchase. Some of the links are affiliates that this will purchasing through those links, purchasing through the links will give me a commission, and it helps the channel. And thank you for supporting and enjoy the video. Oh yeah, and quick disclaimer, I will set up a page later after the stream. Just be aware. I'm gonna go on those red and white trams. It would better be like group of 2s and 1s.
Perfect. Kevin said he's like, I need you to stay here.
Hello.
I got this. No more advertising.
Hey.
So please take note of the number you're standing on. That'll be your row. Sit in the correct row and let row 1 enter or row 2. And please wait on your stars behind that red line.
The people who are watching the live stream, can you do me a favor? Type yes in the live chat if you can hear me, please. Like I love to know.
If you see those seats across the street as you come out, go ahead and take them. If not, you're on one star.
Okay, thank you so much. You're the best adventure with Yoshir Toad, I believe. I'm sorry. Okay, we're going. Yay! Oh. Oh well, we're close. Oh, sorry.
Alright, perfect.
Rejected.
I just came on actually though. I was honest, like fuck that. It was interesting fuck that. It wasn't because I wanted to. It was I thought it said UPS at first. That's the UPS office. That's where like the movie started out coming over, you know?
Oh, that's mine.
Oh.
Yo,
Oh.
Legend.
Oh, I thought that was somebody else's.
They have King Kong too. We're gonna go through that.
So wait, what's the nightclub you work at?
Onyx.
Honestly.
Yeah. Nice. We're gonna do Tuesday. Open all 3 rooms.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah, that's cool.
It's got 3 rooms. Yeah.
Really?
No. Well,
All right, friends. As you just heard, make sure you have a spot. Your each 1 star is 1 seat. Please sit in the correct row and let row 1 enter first before row 2, but not until we say it is safe. So stay behind that red line until we say it is safe, please. All right, all aboard.
Now that you know the guidelines, commence having fun. It's easy and mandatory.
We're about in the Gasland field. Oh, nice. Down there?
All right, folks. Good afternoon. Welcome aboard the world famous Universal Studios tour. My name is Andy. I'm going to be your guide. Honored to be your guide as we go behind the scenes of one of the biggest and busiest movie studios in the world. The one I see you and me and our driver Jacob. Not going to get far without him. We've got 400 acres of backlot out there of fully charged battery. It's a beautiful night. We all have 3D glasses, although you don't actually have to wear them right now. There's only 2 times you need them. I'm going to give you plenty of notice, but I do want to make sure you've got them. So let's do this. If you don't have a pair of 3D glasses, if you're not of a pair, put your hands in the air, keep them there. I will scale the sign of this tram and personally deliver it to you. That's the kind of full-service operation we're running around here. Looks like we're a pretty well-equipped group, though. Yeah, fortunately for me. All right, veterans, people in the military, families thereof, thank you. People from out of town, welcome. Small children should be seated toward the center of the road, away from the outside gates. You're doing great. What constitutes small? If your feet touch the ground, hey, you're a giant. Don't worry about it. Otherwise, slide on over the middle. All right, one last note, folks. This light kind of makes me look ghostly, but as it gets dark, it bounces off the window here and makes it hard for the driver to see. So we want our driver to have optimal visibility. So at night, we don't go on camera. Mom always said I had a face for radio. All right, I think we just need a few more souls. We're ready to rock and roll. Let's wave goodbye to those folks in the line. It's time for us to hit the road.
This is twice today.
All right, now before we get too far gone, I want to introduce you to my co-host for the afternoon. He's the host of The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and you're never going to guess who it is.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Andy.
And the greatest driver.
Jose.
They're the best. I love that. Even though
Andy.
owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
All right, dude. Safety rules. Safety rules. Hold the emergency cord in case of an emergency. Runs down the center of the tram. You have a medical emergency, drop something of value, sound or video issues, reach up and pull that red cord. I'll be back to assist you as soon as it's safe. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please remain seated, keeping your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, so if at any time you drop your cell phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, reach up and pull that cord and remain seated. this one's kind of a no-brainer. No smoking of any kind. Sorry, Frank. And be prepared for loud noises, fire effects, sudden tram movements, and the possibility of getting wet. So please keep your cameras protected. And for those of you who have selfie sticks for your safety and the safety of those around you, reduce them to their shortest length. All right, let's have some fun. We've just turned down our Universal movie timeline. These original movie posters on the right, reality behind, adventure into the magical world of cinematic make-believe. We're about to cross into our front lot, which houses our 36 sound stages. In these buildings, we can create any environment a story demands. Great examples coming up on the bottom of this hill, Soundstage 12. It's the largest on our lot, where we've created some of the biggest sets, some of the biggest moments in movie history, like Frankenstein's laboratory, Dracula's castle, the Scarface Mansion, the clock tower from Back to the Future, the Visitor Center from Jurassic Park, the 405 freeway in Whoville, and the best party Jon Favreau's ever been to, and well, he hangs out with Tony Stark, which makes him happy. So here's what the inside of an empty sound stage looks like, folks. And about 75% of all of the filming we do here at Universal is done in these sound stages we're driving past. Each one has a little red light beside the door. We call it a wigwag. And when it's red or when it's flashing, it's how I know the cameras are rolling. More importantly, it's how I know they're recording sound, which puts us in a quiet zone, and then I go off the microphone for a bit. Because they're not 100% soundproof, about 95, which is pretty darn good, but we're pretty darn close. And you don't want my voice in the background of your favorite television show. Even though I think it'd be cool. Currently working in these stages, Season 4 of Hacks, starring Gene Smart and Heidi Einbinder. Season 2 of Ted, from the wild and wonderful mind of Seth MacFarlane. And the hit series Bel Air, a reimagining of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air with a dramatic spin. That's streamable on Peacock. Ever since our first broadcast to the 1939 New York World's Fair, we've had a long history of producing classic television shows, many of them shot in the very stages we're driving past. They look a lot more like warehouses than stages to me. The term stage comes from the large outdoor platforms that were built during the silent film era to accommodate sets that couldn't be built on bare ground. And when the first indoor film stages were constructed, they had glass ceilings to let the sunlight in because at the time, electrical lighting wasn't powerful enough to light a movie. Now here we are cruising around an electric tram. We've come a long way. Pretty soon our whole fleet will be electric trams as part of our commitment to sustainability and a zero emissions studio tour fleet. Got a couple of minions over here on the right, very excited about Illumination's latest animated spectacular Despicable Me 4. Illumination is one of the residents of the upcoming production bungalows, along with companies like Mark Platt Productions, who just released Wicked in theaters to rave reviews, starring Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. And here's Wicked's director John M. Chu with some info on some Wicked perks.
Hey, Studio Tour. You're seeing a lot of behind-the-scenes movie-making magic today, showing you up close how filmmakers, like me, bring our dreams to the big screen. After your tour, the magic of Wicked continues at Universal Studios Hollywood, where you can experience photo ops, props, and costumes from the film, and fun bites and drinks from Shiz and Emerald City. But first, here's a look at Wicked.
Come with me to meet the wizard.
I couldn't possibly. This is your moment. I'm coming.
If you think that's something to see, maybe see this. Look good.
Very good.
Wicked, rated PG.
before these bungalows were production offices, they were actually dressing rooms for some of the major stars we had under contract here. People like Jimmy Stewart, hence the James Stewart Avenue Drive we're riding on right now. And check out Bungalow 5195 coming up on your left. That used to be the office of the legendary director Alfred Hitchcock. That's his profile, painted next to the front door. Hitchcock was known as the master of suspense for such classic thrillers as Vertigo, Rear Window, The Birds, and Psycho, and he's influenced pretty much every major director working today.
Lou said he could move into that office. I said, no, I can never be in Hitchcock's office. That should be a shrine, a museum.
Very exciting, just to know that he was there and walk by and know he was in that office.
Hitchcock has influenced every director. I saw Hitchcock once walking around the commissary.
Hitchcock had his bungalow on the lot. I used to go see Alfred Hitchcock.
I loved working with him. I highly respect him. He really understood fear and terror. Birds? That was a really scary movie.
Birds? Oh, man. That had me looking at crows like for the next 10 years.
Psycho, of course. Vertigo was one of the all-time great masterpieces. Hitchcock was master.
All right, we're crossing into the back lot now. Over here on your left, folks, stages 25 and 26 are two of our newest. Working in 25, Lopez versus Lopez from creator Mayan Lopez. Also starring her father, George, kind of a family affair. And in 26, the new comedy St. Denis Medical, starring Wendy McClendon Covey, David Allen Greer for In Living Color. But that's a state-of-the-art production facility, folks. Everything they need to produce those shows is housed in those buildings. From sound stages to the wardrobe department, hair, makeup. Even the writer's room is on the second floor. So we're crossing into the back lot. We shoot the big stuff out here. Exterior scenes on a grand scale. Now, movies are based on illusion, at least in part.
Hello.
These metropolitan sets are a great example of just that. They may appear to be built out of brick and stone, but they're actually made out of foam rubber and fiberglass over metal and wood frames. We call them facades, and they're really just the fronts and sides of buildings built that way because, well, mostly because we only bother building what the camera can see. And we reuse them, changing them enough so you don't recognize them from one production to the next. Some of the exterior sets for St. Denis Medical over there. And this is Brownstone Street. It's where Paul Newman and Robert Redford flopped in the Academy Award-winning film The Sting, where Mindy Kaling lived on the Mindy Project, and where Jim Carrey lived in Bruce Almighty.
Raise the dog!
I'm in the shower.
It's like that. Outside good. It's like that. Outside good.
Oh, you're done now. B-E-A-U.
And I'm sure many of you are going to recognize the area we're turning into now. I'd like to welcome you all to Courthouse Square, otherwise known as Hill Valley. From Back to the Future, starring Michael J. Fox, Christopher Lloyd. This is the clock tower over here on your left, where Doc Brown harnessed the bolt of lightning that sent Marty McFly back to the future.
It was actually the back lot of Courthouse Square that inspired the entire climax to Back to the Future.
I had scenes up at the clock tower on that ledge. It was a ledge about that wide. And I was standing inside looking at the ledge, and I already had vertigo. I just thought there's no way in the world, no way I'm going to stand on that. I was up there for quite a while. Of course, I had a cable.
Now, currently, Courthouse Square is doubling as Framingham, Massachusetts for the series Ted. In fact, the clock tower is actually Ted's high school. It's a multiverse, folks. The worlds are colliding. So if you watch the show, that'll be your secret. But we're going to leave small town America behind for the big city, the Big Apple, folks. We're turning down New York Street. And this one comes complete with its own Park Terrace Hotel, its own theater district, and its own Macy's. Recently working on this street, American Ninja Warrior, and one of those spectacular obstacle courses built for their semifinals. We can't talk about New York without somebody who really knows the town, so once again, here's Jimmy Fallon.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York! I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Always got mugged over there by an old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here! Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Check out this blue glass facade coming up on the right. This is really cool. This has been designed so you can shoot towards it without getting the reflection of the camera in the glass. See how it's angled? Remember, angle of incidence equals angle of reflection, folks. Anytime you point a camera at somebody, if there's glass or a mirror, you might end up in the shot. We call that a blooper, and it's not good. That'll cost you time. Time is a very valuable commodity when you're in production. We've had a lot of superheroes on our Metropolitan sets, like Marvel's Captain America, the First Avenger. That epic scene where Steve Rogers goes from scrawny guy with a big heart to brawny guy with a big heart after they inject him with a super soldier serum. There's a great chase on the street where he's barefoot chasing a taxi cab. He's running on the top of cars. He tackles the cab. Had this whole street dressed to look like the 1940s for that scene, with all the period cars and all the extras, all the period wardrobe and hairstyles. Then after he tackles the cab, they take a turn down a street to the left, and suddenly they're in Manchester, England. It's still all supposed to be Brooklyn, but we needed Manchester for the canals, where Steve dives in the water and pulls the Hydra agent out of the submarine. But the editing and the continuity is just spot on, fantastic. You can't tell where one ends and the other begins. Continuity is very important in movie making because we shoot out of sequence. And those were 2 moments of one scene, but they were probably shot weeks, if not months apart. The stuff that was shot here in the back lot and the stuff that was shot in London and England. So it's really important that everything matches. We have somebody whose job it is to make note of continuity. They take a lot of notes, they take a lot of pictures. You don't want your hero running around the corner and suddenly being in a different pair of pants or something. And even though we call this New York Street, folks, it's appeared as many other cities as well. This was Los Angeles for Michael Bay's Transformers, starring Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox, that climactic scene where Optimus Prime and the U.S. Marines square off against Megatron and the Decepticons was shot on this street, intercut with downtown LA. Once again, the editing and the continuity is fantastic. And this was Chicago for the classic comedy The Blues Brothers, starring John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd. Here's Blues Brothers director John Landis with a little Blues Brothers behind the scenes.
When the Pinto fell?
This is cool. They dropped this Pinto from a helicopter outside Chicago, and the FAA had to come in and give it a special airworthiness certificate before they did it. I guess they were afraid it would catch a gust of wind and go careening into a building. I'm sure the odds are that it wouldn't, being a car and all, but nevertheless, the smart guys had to come in and do the math and give them a stamp of approval, and yes, you may drop that Pinto from a helicopter outside Chicago. And then we drop a similar car from a crane right here on our back lot.
Saw it land and make this big hole in the street. That was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, not a good idea.
When people ask me, of all of the movies I've ever done, what was the most satisfying and the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive and train with the best stunt people in the world, and got to be an actor and a writer. So it was a good piece of work.
Danny called John America's Guest because just didn't walk into anybody's house.
During the shooting of the movie, John was missing. We couldn't find him.
Danny went off looking for him. He saw a light on in this one house and knocked on the door.
I said, sir, we're doing a movie down here. We're looking for one of our actors. Oh, John, yeah, he's on my couch. He came in, he had a snack a couple hours ago. He's sleeping. He was America's Guest. I mean, literally that.
The street doubled as Washington, D.C. for XXX2 State of the Union, starring Ice Cube and Sam Jackson. And this was London for Christopher Nolan's The Prestige, starring Hugh Jackman and Kristen Bale. And congratulations to Christopher Nolan, by the way, and the cast and crew of Oppenheimer, who brought Universal home its 11th Best Picture Oscar this last year with Oppenheimer, that won 7 Oscars: Best Picture, Best Director, Christopher Nolan, Best Actor, Cillian Murphy, Best Supporting Actor, Robert Downey Jr., Best Cinematography, Best Film Editing, Best Music, Best Movie. Let's have a look at some of Universal's Academy Award-winning films. Oh, no, you're not. You're very, very good, sir. The legendary Al Pacino, folks, an incredible body of work, was nominated for Oscars 6 times, never won, until finally lucky number 7 came along in the form of Scent of a Woman.
I'm not bad, no. I'm Rob.
Katharine Hepburn has won more Oscars for acting than any other actress in history. She's won 4, all for Best Actress.
We'll have poetry in my life. And adventure.
Yeah, and I'm great with people. I have kids. Learned a lot right there.
Something's happening.
Really understand a person until you consider things
Something happened.
from his point of view.
Give a good one. Give a good one.
Adrian Brody, he was the youngest man to ever win Best Actor when he won for The Pianist. He was 29 years old. I stood in for Adrian Brody in a movie called Hollywoodland. Do you guys know what stand-ins do? Basically, in order for an actor to be photographed, they have to be lit. And lighting is very important. The way you would light a comedy is different than the way you would light a thriller or a horror movie. So, a day on a film set is like this. The actor and the director will show up and they'll decide what the actors are going to do physically. They'll block the scene. And then the actors get a break. They get to go to their trailer and work on their lines or get a cup of coffee. And they bring in the second team, a group of people who look like the actors. You don't have to be dead ringers, but they're about the same height, the same hair, if you're lucky, the same skin tone. And then the second team do all of the things that the actors are going to do physically, and the camera department and the lighting department light the second team. And then the second team gets a break, and the actors come back and they shoot the scene. That's filmmaking 101. All right, we're going to wave goodbye to the faux concrete jungle of our metro sets for the moment, and say hello to the prehistoric jungle of Skull Island. Everybody ready for a little excitement? Here's King Kong director Peter Jackson to lead the way.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to create movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times.
Yes, absolutely.
So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. It's great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
All right, folks, adventure awaits. Please hold on to your belongings and remain seated at all times.
We really put a lot of thought into the character and personality of Kong, and he's so much more than a monster. In fact, he's not a monster. He is an incredibly majestic, ancient creature. He's a force of nature. He's old, he's wise, he's proud, he's fierce, and obviously he has a heart. The most important feature with Kong are his eyes. Kong's eyes are wonderfully expressive. They're full of emotion. His eyes are like a window into his personality and his heart. He's had an enormous number of encounters with his foes, the T-Rexes and the various dinosaurs on Skull Island. So he's been beaten up, scarred, chewed up, spat out by these dinosaurs at various times, and he wears the scars of a lot of ancient battles.
Okay. Enter in. We're entering.
on to those 3D glasses. You don't have to wear them right now, but do hang on to them. I have a feeling we may be needing them a little bit later on in the tour. Now, King Kong 360 3D was brought to Universal Studios Hollywood by Weta Effects, formerly Weta Digital, and Peter Jackson, the Academy Award-winning director. That epic battle we just witnessed was created using some of the most advanced technology in filmmaking today and projected on the world's largest 3D screens, standing 40 feet tall and 180 feet long. All right, we're going to do a little detour back into our metro zone. So they're really just the fronts and sides of buildings, right? Built that way because, well, because we only bother building what the camera can see, and we reuse them, changing them enough so you don't recognize them from one production to the next. Notice the windows and details on the upper floors are slightly smaller than the windows and details on the previous floors, and that gives the illusion these structures are taller than they actually are, especially through the camera lens, which kind of intensifies whatever you point it at. This is London Square coming up on the left, doubled as India for the Mindy project. Prior to the creation of London Square, when we wanted to shoot outside a building of Parliament, we had to go to London to do it. Or sometimes we cheat in Canada. They have Parliament buildings there. Making movies is one of the few places in life where cheating is acceptable, so we do it a lot. We cheat camera angles, we shoot day for night, dry for wet, whatever we can get away with. Shooting day for night just means shooting during the day for a nighttime scene, because it's a lot easier to make a movie in the daytime than it is at night. It just takes less time, and therefore it's less expensive. There are a lot of different ways to do it. Sometimes you can put a blue filter on the camera lens. You can cover the sets with a dark fabric. Over here on your right, folks, pretty spectacular spray paint mural commemorating our classic monster movies. This is a good story. This guy, Tristan Eaton, started out here on the streets of LA tagging dumpsters and buildings and developed some incredible talent. Now he's worked all over the world. That's one guy, a bunch of spray paint cans, and a crane to get him up there. Back over here on your left, in stages 30 and 31, we're working on a brand new season of The Voice. And in 32, the new comedy Happy's Place, starring the lovely and talented Reba McEntire. That tranquil lagoon out there on the left is the original Black Lagoon from the cult classic Creature from the Black Lagoon. And professional diver Rico Browning, who played the creature in the underwater sequences, trained himself to hold his breath for up to 5 minutes at a time. The logic being that if the creature breathed through its gills, there shouldn't be air bubbles ascending to the surface from any kind of scuba, but 5 minutes? Try holding your breath for 1 minute. But don't do it now, guys. Your bodies will crumble as your minds collapse into madness. He said that wasn't the hardest thing about it, though. He said the worst thing about this gig was seeing underwater with the contact lenses he had to wear for the costume. While we're on the subject of creature features, just up ahead of us is Little Europe. It's where we invented the monster movie. We call these sets Little Europe because they can look like many of the cities in Europe simply by changing the language on the street signs and on the buildings, adding the appropriate vehicles and props and color schemes. These sets doubled as Rome for Ron Howard's Angels and Demons starring Tom Hanks, Port Royale and parts of Tortuga for Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean 1, 2, and 3. And this was The Afterlife for The Good Place, starring Kristen Bell and Ted Danson.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, come on. I've never ever seen you this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here.
All right, this yogurt shop in the background is actually right up ahead of us. We're kind of right where the camera might be. I know it doesn't say yogurt at the facade anymore, but that is the yogurt shop. You can see where the road splits on either side. And I was in there during production, folks. I've seen the yogurt. They had a flavor called one-handed football catch. Now, there's a flavor in tune with the whole Good Place vibe. You're never going to find that going to the bad place.
I can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
Now, what we love about these sets is that in the daytime they look like the afterlife of the good place, but at night they look more like the kind of place Frankenstein would be roaming around. And the truth of it is they're both. It just depends on how they're lit. That's the Court of Miracles over there on the right is a perfect example. Looking all spooky at night. In the daytime it's very pleasant and quaint. Compliments the good place. But the Court of Miracles is where many of the famous monsters got their start. It got its name from the Parisian square in the novel The Hunchback of Notre Dame, made into a movie in 1923, over 100 years ago. And that's what kicked off the monster movie craze.
Monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera, classic, just brilliant. That Frankenstein image, flathead, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film. I was just mesmerized by these movies. Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney. I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie, really scary. They still ring in our memories now. We love them. Check this out, The Invisible Man, 1933. Now, this effect still holds up today, and it was long before CGI was even a glimmer and a glimmer and a glimmer in anyone's eye. It was done by layering multiple prints of film with different levels of exposure. So film, at least when we're talking about movies, refers to a strip of celluloid pictures run through a projector at 24 frames per second, creating the illusion of motion. Hence the term motion pictures or moving pictures. From that we get the slang movies. So this is multiple prints layered. One with the empty room completely covered in a non-reflective black fabric, one with the actor in the room, in his wardrobe, but wearing a black hood and black gloves, and then a couple of negative prints or mats. And that's all layered like something layered. Nachos, lasagna, take your pick. Here's a good one. An American Werewolf in London, directed by John Landis. Special effects makeup by Rick Baker, who won an Oscar for his work on this movie. This was the first movie ever to get an Oscar for makeup. And since then, Rick Baker's won 6. He's the name in effects makeup in Hollywood. This is a practical effect, folks. It's not CGI. It's a mechanical effect. Sometimes we call it an in-camera effect because it's done while the cameras are rolling rather than in post-production. They're using some kind of device, some kind of lever to push this rubber snout forward. But there's been a long-standing debate on what's better, CGI or practical effects. And really, it depends on what you're trying to do. I mean, they're both, pardon me, they're both extremely useful tools. It's all starting to blur together. They're both extremely useful tools. Practical effects offer a certain tangible realism that CGI just doesn't. That being said, there are things you can do with CGI that you could never do with practical effects, or if you did, it would be too expensive, like a vampire transformation like this. There it goes. 1933. That's a great effect. I love that. All right, folks. All this talk of horror, monsters. When Shane Black, writer-director of Iron Man 3, was asked what his favorite monster movie was, he said Jaws. Pretty good choice, since the monster actually exists in our world.
So keep your seats as we make our way into Amity Island, a lovely little tourist town that was once terrorized by a man-eating great white shark. Suffering sequels. There's another shark out there. Oh no, the diver's still in the water. Oh, that's gotta hurt. That's about the most fun Jose and I have all day, watching you watch the shark. It's the screams that keep us going. You've just come face to face with Bruce the shark. Check him out. He's the only shark around that swims in reverse. That's pretty impressive. Bruce the shark, just as much of a terror off screen as he was on. In fact, on the first day of filming Jaws, Bruce sank to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, prompting the cast and crew to nickname the production Flaws. Now, folks, weather played an important role in Jaws, and it does in any movie or television show, creating just the right mood and atmosphere for a scene. Weather effects have always been kind of tricky here in Hollywood because most of the time we have sunshine. So filmmakers have to create weather. Have a look at some of the ways they do it. We're rolling into Old Mexico. Shot down here in the Showtime series Shameless, as well as comedy classics like Three Amigos and Nacho Libre. Let's start with some rain.
Maybe I should put on the epilepsy warning in the beginning, in the title. Sorry.
So as you can see, with the help of lightning, rain is created by an overhead sprinkler hidden from view. We just shoot water straight up in the air and let it fall naturally like rain. Problem is, when we get too much rain, then it can lead to disaster in the form of flash floods, and we've got one headed right for us. Oh! Remember, folks, if you're sitting in one of the blue seats, well, you may get wet on the toilet way. That flood was caused by dumping thousands of gallons of recycled water from our extension hill. All right, my friends, this is kind of the halfway point now. Just want to remind everybody to remain seated at all times. You guys have been fantastic, but just in case you drop something or you just can't wait to use the restroom, reach up and pull that red cord, get my attention, I'll come back and sort it out. We're going to drive past Amity Island again. Don't worry, we're not going to be terrorized by the shark again. I'm still traumatized from the last time. But it might interest you to know that Jaws director Steven Spielberg was an integral part in the design of the whole Jaws attraction.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal that were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the tram. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on the Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what the designers and myself all envisioned and created. My entire career began with my relationship with Universal Studios just as a high school kid on a tour bus. Remember, in those days, there weren't trams, there were buses called the Gray Line Tour Bus. And I was so excited and thrilled to be on the lot. This is my first time ever on a movie studio lot. And during a bathroom break, I hid in the bathroom, and when everybody left to get back on the bus, I waited another 15 minutes until I'm sure the bus left, and then I had the entire lot to myself that day. And in those days, movie lots were so crowded because all movies were made on film lots. Today they're made all over the world, on locations, but most of it was focused in those days, in the 60s, on the film lots. So nobody noticed me when I was going around from soundstage to soundstage, and I really felt, in my own young way, I owned the lot and had the most amazing day of my life.
All right. Let's talk picture cars. This is the stars who've driven them. The Magnum PI Ferrari. That's the one I want to get behind the wheel of. There's Biff's car from Back to the Future, the one that got covered in manure. Must have a really good car wash. Over here on your left, folks, the Flintstones got me in a yabba-dabba-doo kind of mood. There's one of Vin Diesel's Chargers from the Fast and the Furious. That Nissan Skyline beside it is the one Paul Walker drove in the opening race of Too Fast, Too Furious. There's Bumblebee. Gotta love a Camaro, especially if it can transform into an Autobot. Over here on your right, folks, probably the two most famous sets still standing in Hollywood. That's the Bates Motel and the Psycho House from Hitchcock's Psycho. Just up ahead of us, our official scale replica of LA's most iconic landmark, the Hollywood sign.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Now, if the Psycho House looks a little bit small, it's because it's a 3/4 scale. It was built that way so Norman would look bigger and more menacing when he stood in the doorway. Now, Mrs. Bates is still up in the window, but don't bother waving. She's always in a rotten mood. Just beyond the Psycho House, one of the most impressive sets ever created, the spectacular crash site from Steven Spielberg's War of the Worlds, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. This is all that's left of the neighborhood they hide out in during the film. That's a real plane, by the way. A real 747 destroyed just for this scene.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around a vision.
You put together to sit down and talk about the War of the Worlds. But Bob, what if the 747 goes down right in that big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Listen to me. Listen, close your eyes, okay? Now close. Bobby, get in. Get in.
Our production picked that plane up for $60 grand, which is a pretty good price for a working 747. The catch was it cost over $200 grand to get it here, and it was less than 80 miles away. It's always the shipping and handling that gets you. Here's a little town about 80 miles north of here called Mojave. Not the desert. There's a town where the 5 meets the 14. There's an Air Force base there and a runway and an old aircraft boneyard, if you will. This plane was there, still completely operational. It was an older 747, so it had been decommissioned, but plasma torches cut the plane into 4 pieces, and then cranes loaded each piece onto the back of a huge flatbed to be towed by a tractor trailer, and then we sectioned off the interstate to drive the pieces here. You know, planes, they usually fly places, they don't often drive places, but this one did. Had to cut the fin off the tail so it could fit under an ass and then reattach it when it arrived. We've been very fortunate to work with Academy Award-winning directors like Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, Francis Ford Coppola. And now we're thrilled to be partnering with a new generation of Academy Award winner, Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele won an Oscar for Best Original Screenplay for his film Get Out, which starred Daniel Kaluuya, Brad Whitford, Catherine Keener. Then followed that up with Us, starring Lupita Nyong'o, and then Nope, which reunited him with Daniel Kaluuya, also starred Kiki Palmer, Michael Wincott, Steve Yen. And just up ahead of us, the actual sets used in Jordan Peele's sci-fi thriller Nope. We're going to check them out. And here's Jordan to lead us in.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Plane. A nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky G. Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Sheriff. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, I do. A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the UFO hotspot. What's a bad miracle? You're about to find out. Welcome to the world of Nope.
Well, that's what it sounds like to be absorbed by a UFO, folks. And you know, we were going to have you all absorbed by a UFO for that effect, but, well, it just seemed like a little much. I mean, you never can tell how long an alien abduction is going to take, right? Besides, we have more pressing issues at hand. People, we've got trouble. We're being hunted, yes, hunted, by evil crime kingpin Owen Shaw and his ruthless syndicate. Apparently one of you witnessed something and they're angry about it. In fact, they're furious. And they're fast. So I'm turning things over to the FBI.
Look, this might be more serious than I thought. What just happened? This is a secure line. Who are you?
I'll tell you who I am, boy.
Here we go.
I'm the reason bad guys use a nightlight. I'm the reason the boogeyman begs his mama to look under his bed. And I'm the reason you just lost control of this whole operation. There's a high-value witness from the Federal Protection Program aboard your vehicle. And 2, an international crime syndicate led by Owen Shaw is honing in on this vehicle to take that witness out. Shaw's as ruthless as they come. He'll stop at nothing to eliminate his target. Every living soul on this vehicle is in serious danger. Other than that, enjoy the ride.
This is not your jurisdiction.
It is now, stink pickle.
I'm so tired of you stink guys. Step in and just whatever you feel like.
Mute him.
Don't you?
That's better. We're moving your vehicle to a safe location until we have the situation under control. Until then, I want everybody to stay calm. Enjoy the ride. Taking care of business. Pops out.
My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. Buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you. Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row, like I was saying. So look, see over there? It's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. That work of art back over there was made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman. Alright, look guys, we're gonna keep you sharp and tight. We're gonna keep you safe. We need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us. So put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone to get us
This is what we're doing. This is the race. They have the party. And the where the it's like yours, Hobbs, escort this novice out.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of tonight.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back. It was on vibrate.
Don't trace this. Ops can't hold forever. Lenny, Roman, we're up.
Driver, move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door.
Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Lenny ready to roll.
All right, folks. Stay low, stay seated, stay alert. We'll get through this. That sounds gunfire. You better put on those bulletproof 3D glasses again, just in case.
Which one of you is the witness? Speak now or you all get fried!
This is our turn.
Drones lining up the missile shot! Roman, don't shoot! That's from the bridge! Under construction! Everybody hold on!
crazy out there. Dead red hot.
Now, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They say the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You gotta be good out there. And you're welcome to join our crew anytime.
All right, we're near the end of our tour. A couple of notes from Cindy Lou Who.
Hello, friends. This is Cindy Lou Who, and I want you to help me find the Grinch. He could be here. He could be there. That Grinchy old Grinch could be hiding anywhere. Perhaps he's in the Universal Plaza by the holiday tree, counting the presents 1, 2, 3. He could be in a corner.
Very interesting.
In a nook. Or maybe the Jurassic Cove is where you should look. He'll be at one of those two places waiting for you. So happy holidays from me, Cindy Lou Who.
Yeah, to me it's new.
Cindy Lou Who, and hear my favorite story, How the Grinch Stole Christmas in English and Spanish. Showtime's available on the Universal app. Happy Grinchmas!
Oh, thank you, Cindy. All right, folks. Well, I hope you've enjoyed your look behind the scenes.
Yeah, me too.
To our pass holders,
This is my
thank
first
you for
time
being with us.
seeing it.
For those of you who aren't pass holders, visit the Universal box office. See how you can turn today's ticket into an annual pass and return again and again and again. Oh, download the Universal Studios Hollywood app. That's how you can find Cindy Lou and get info on mobile food ordering, wait times, show times, confirm the park closes tonight at 10 p.m. All sorts of good information. On behalf of Jose and myself and all of us here at Universal, have a very happy holiday. Best of luck in 2025. Like we say in the movies, that's a wrap.
I've been on that tour so many times since I was a kid, and I just love it every time.
The first time I ever went on the Universal lot, we did the tour.
I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was like the place to go and see Jaws.
I got my introduction to Universal Studios through the tour, and so then to be in the movies and seeing the trams drive by, it's very overwhelming.
One of the coolest things actually about shooting for Universal is sometimes you get to shoot on the lot, and then you look over and it's like you're almost the trams are riding around. It's the coolest thing ever.
1979. Back then, tram drivers were kind of a little reckless, a little crazy. There was no restriction on cars going anywhere. We used to drive all over and kind of duel with them back and forth.
I have so many amazing memories of the lot when we were shooting Back to the Future.
Being here brings me back in time, I'll tell you that.
The tram would come through, the tourists would see Michael J. Fox, and they're taking a camera, snap, snap, snap. So one day, Michael J. Fox had his own camera, and every time the tourists came through snapping their pictures, he ran out and he started taking pictures of them.
Let me tell you something, Paige.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Go ahead, say roller show.
You gotta start over.
Ooh.
Our top Susan?
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm the victim here. Don't you smile. Don't you smile right now, I Just cut, because I can't think of anything funny to say.
All right, folks, looks like it's rush hour here at Universal Studios Hollywood. Thank you for your patience. Just hang out for a moment, and then it'll be time to rock and roll. Time to what?
Time to rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
Bring the noise. Reality
Dun, dun, dun.
This is the Blues Riff and beat. Watch me for the changes and try and keep up, okay? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dun, oh. Okay.
Some blue bits out there for those 3D glasses. Don't drop your designer glasses in there instead. Okay, that happens way more often than you might think.
Woo.
Yeah. Okay, appreciate Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Watch your step, please.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much for. Okay. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell for more content like this. If you are new, like this video, this will help the YouTube algorithm. Oh, thank you so much. And comment, what is your favorite movie or TV show? I love to know in the comments below. And last thing, okay, after this and the live stream, I'm going to have a dedication page for all the links of the movies, TV shows, other media in the a link to a dedication page. Some might be affiliates for by buying those movies or TV or DVDs. Or movies, TV shows, sorry. I'll get a commission from the purchase, some of them. Thank you, and thank you for the support, and good night.